welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Something ain't right. Not sure what's going on again. Hopefully, guys can hear me. Um, y'all saw the thumbnail. I said this guy won it with Wilder / Fury. He does. He's putting his bid in. Can we be mad at that? I don't think so. But let's turn to. Hey, welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Anyway, y'all saw the thumbnail. This guy wanted with Wilder and Fury, to be exact. But before we get in that, let's do our first routine of talking about water. Water check, water check, water check. Hope everybody's drinking their water. Here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we advocate for 100 ounces of water per day. Never know, it might save your life. I'm telling you. If you don't drink water and you find it hard, just start off small and work your way up. The two most important times to drink water is first thing in the morning before the toes hit the floor. Get you a swig of water. 8 ounces will do. Before you brush your teeth, before you do anything, drink your water. Because now the body's up, the engine's moving. The water is the lube. Second time is when you're about to go to sleep. Not looking at TV, not doing something else, wink, wink, but going to sleep, real sleep. Drink your water. 8 ounces will do then. Got a lot of reads going on. Recharging, rebooting, revamping your system, cleaning out your system from toxins, getting it ready for to be released first thing in the morning. When you wake up, y'all know how we got to go to the bathroom first thing. That's what's going on at night. Cleaning stuff out, rejuvenating stuff. And a fun fact, the average person burns between 900 to 1,000 calories in their sleep. That's a lot of calories. Most of y'all can't do that in a workout. That's a lot of calories. You'll be surprised. But anyway, drink your water. Get it in. As I said, we advocate for 100 ounces per day. Really, a grown person, especially, can drink a gallon of water per day. So let's get our water up. But let's get to this thumbnail. So Otto Wallin has expressed interest in fighting Wilder. I repeat, he has expressed interest in fighting Wilder. That ought to show you how important Wilder is to the boxing community or to boxing, period. The man just announced, what was it, yesterday? That he's returning to boxing. And already you got Summer Owens. You got folks that want to get in there with him. Now, that's according to the promoter Salita, and I'm assuming he's a promoter of Otto Wallin. And he says fighter welcomes a rematch with Fury at any time. He said Fury can get these hands. We know that him and Fury already had a match, and he comported himself well in that fight. I think he split Fury's eye or something, or opened it up or something. He did pretty well. He didn't win the fight, but he did pretty well. They claim that they already let Team Wilder know their interest and intent in a match with him. So I guess they trying to say Wilder is on notice. We would just say today, we marking time. Otto Wallin and his team, Flash promoter, has let Wilder know, or Team Wilder, that they're interested in a fight with him. Hey, I'm not saying this stuff to seem like Wilder should get with this guy or take him seriously or not take him seriously. I'm just saying what they putting out. Wallin feels that he could fare well in a match with Fury or Wilder if given a chance again. He already, like I said, matched with Fury. He think this time around he can make a difference, and he think it'll be a good fight. The interesting thing is, I didn't know that Wilder was 36 years old. And his birthday hasn't come yet, because his birthday at the end of the year, towards the end of the year, or in the fall. Wilder will be 37 this year. And he's returning to fight. And so, I don't know why I thought he was younger. But, I don't know. I be thinking about this now, like, I guess he has some unfinished business to do. Again, Wilder can go on an exhibition route if he wanted to. I'll pay to see it. You ain't with PBC. I'm sorry, Wilder, but I definitely want to see it. I got to stand 10 toes down on my protest of the PBC. Every time I think of Wilder, I think he's phenomenal. And my man Best, who can express this, is hold on, let me see. Let me see, hold on. If I still got it up. So. thing cracked me up every time I see it. That was not mine. I was just playing it as educational purposes to say how I really feel. I know it's joking because he said, it took me a minute for me to get there. He said ma na, like MAHNA, but it sounded like he's saying phenomenal. But that's what Wilder is when I think of him. He's phenomenal, and people are already biting at the bits to get at him because they know where that money at, where that bag going, where that bag gonna be following. Jaguar Black is in the building. Was Poppy King? Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the building. You know, but yeah, it's just interesting that Wilder said it one day, and already he got people saying, "Hey, I want to be your Huckleberry." Do I think Wallin would, be able to handle Wilder? I don't know. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So he said, "Thank you." I don't know what Wilder could do or what he will do, but I know it's Wilder country over here. So we supportive of any and everything that Wilder decides to do. So I mean, I just put that out there, like that's what's coming down the pike. You're gonna have a lot of. I don't think it's gonna take Wilder long before he can get in the mix with somebody at all. I think people realize that if you want a good payday with your fight, you got to see that man. If you want to see a good fight, you got to see that man, because you can't teach heart. You can't teach warriorism, and that's what Wilder got in droves. You can't teach that shit, and so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Jaguar said for sure, Wilder deserves way more respect. Indeed, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. But we gonna see. We gonna see. I don't know if Wallin Jaguar is somebody that Wilder would have picked, to start off, to start back. And it do seem like he's been gone for a long time, but he really hasn't. October to April or so, what, 6, 7 months? October to now. Um, he broke his hand, y'all. So that's why it took this long, but it do seem like he was gone for a minute. And it do seem like the heavyweight division kind of died down. And it ain't just because Usyk left because of the war. I think it would have been like that whether Usyk would have stayed. I think the matchup, if y'all looking at it, one thing I'm gleaning when it comes to Wilder is they like to have controversy around him. Now, whether he brings it on himself or others bring it to him or bring it on him is another story. But they like to have controversy around him. And I mean, he's guaranteed money. Like you take his shit to the bank. You know what I'm saying? Um, Sanctioning bodies knows that. I'm on record yesterday of saying that I think Wilder should line himself up in other sanctioning rankings. He should go for the WBA, the IBF, or the WBO. He should look. He should be looking into that. Um, the WBC let them know how they felt about him, and he should remember that. And that's why I say fuck them. You know. But like I said, whatever he decide. But it do seem like the controversial matchups that Wilder will have, the ones that's gonna make the big money, is gonna be when his opponent is a white guy. Hate to say it like that, but that's how I see it. If you think about Floyd Mayweather, right? What gave Floyd Mayweather his prominence? What catapulted him up to the interest of whether they liked him or they didn't like him? As Floyd would say, Whether you like me or not, all money is green, right? Well, what gave him that prominence was the fact that he was facing, Latino fighters, preferably Mexican. I mean, a famous saying or quote that Floyd said, "You might as well call me the golden boy because I done beat everybody on your squad." I love it when he said that. I loved it. But I mean, the sentiments, he alluded to the sentiments there because basically he also said in that same breath, you line them up, talking to Oscar, you line them up, and I knock them down. That's me hitting my hand. You know what I'm saying? So that was the sentiment with Floyd Mayweather. You know, let's fight these Mexican fighters. Floyd knew what he was doing. Because as I said, their money green too. But what were they doing? I mean, we seen this happen before. This is not new. It's not new under the sun. Just different players, right? What was the Mexicans' agenda or intent when it came to Floyd Mayweather? Jaguar Black said, I don't care what they say. Malik Scott did a good job. I seen something new before he got hit in the temple again. Okay. Sir Creat 357 says salute. Laugh out loud. Salute King. That Wilder's still a beast. Indeed. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm peeping. I don't know if you guys see it, but I'm seeing it. Just like they always wanted to line Floyd up with Mexican fighters, they want to do that to Deontay with white fighters. And I ain't saying it just because Wallin said something, but I'm going to watch carefully to see if that pick up steam, if that's something that everybody be pushing. But I think Wallin knows too that this is the play, at least for him. He want to get to the point where he has that notoriety, but he's making that kind of big bag money. He gonna have to see somebody like Wilder. That's why he wants to rematch with Tyson Fury. But what he probably has gleaned is that even though he fought Tyson Fury and he comported himself well, the money he could get from fighting Wilder is way better than any amount of money he could get to fight Fury. The money that would come in for him facing a person like Wilder is bigger than what he could get fighting Tyson Fury. And again, remember the statement. Wilder needs to humble himself. So we already discussed that only makes sense. But Wallin, I'm not mad at him for making a power play move. You know what I'm saying? He know how this thing gonna work. Now the question is, do Wilder feel that he want to play along? Whether Wilder play along again, whatever he decide. But that is the controversy with Wilder. It's like when it comes to these black fighters, and I'm not hollering the black card, I'm just saying in general, when it comes to these black fighters, it seems like it's a collective effort for certain groups of people, but they don't want black fighters to dominate. Now, me, I love the sport of boxing. I want whoever work hard to dominate. I don't give a care what set you claim. I always am supportive of black people, and I always will be. You know what I'm saying? That goes without saying. We don't have to be talking about boxing. We can be talking about something else. I'm a support blacks just like other races support theirs. Because I'm proud to be black. But, that's going to be the controversy. They're going to always want to line Wilder up with whatever group that feel like they want to be dominant over him. They know he the goods. They know he the king. They know he the top dog. and beating him puts a lot of creds on your resume, put a lot of notches on your belt. And that's what people gonna want to be gunning for. I want to see who else gonna call him out. Sir Cread said facts. He said Wilder is a man of passion and don't kiss ass. Indeed. Boots next up. Yeah, Sir Cread. You gotta wait his turn though. He's definitely next up. I see him having a long career and doing well in at least the next. I'm gonna give him 3 weight classes because I really believe he can go up to 154, 160, 168. I believe he can do that. That means at best he could be a 4 division champion. But I don't think he's gonna move until he at least get an opportunity to become a champion. At least. Sir Cread 357 said haters are already lining up. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And Wallin just jumped on it quick. You know what I'm saying? So, his promoter is advocating for it too. And I know they want the hardware. That's why they keep throwing in, hey, I'll do a rematch with Tyson Fury because they want that belt. Now, I put out a month or so ago how Mauricio Suleiman is trying to give Tyson Fury the Emeritus belt, right? And we told you what that belt pretty much does. But he was supposed to have been had a meeting. What happened in that meeting, I don't know. I've been waiting on that meeting for a minute to find out the conclusion because Tyson Fury is anxious to do an exhibition fight with this guy. I don't know his name. I ain't even gonna try to butcher his name. But some UFC fighter, supposed to be the hardest hitter. Period. He's supposed to have that kind of power. But he wants an exhibition with him. But we all believe that Tyson wants to walk in with the WBC belt as a current belt holder. But the WBC, I'm telling you, they all about money. They don't want to have to take it from Tyson because they don't want a reprisal or repercussion. That's why I think they did a temperature check, put it out there that they're going to have a meeting to see what's going to happen, to see if it be backlash. It wasn't that much backlash for them, claiming that they was going to take his belt. You know what I'm saying? But they did the temperature check. Now, the thing that I noticed is they ain't followed through. You said that's what you want to do because you want to get the WBC belt back in circulation, but you didn't do nothing. That's why you got to look at Mauricio Suleiman sideways. Turkey has said, hell, they still dogging Jamel around. How so, Sir? Jaguar said he has to work what's best for him. He started boxing late. Yeah. He undisputed. At least a world champion one more time. Talking about Wilder, yeah. Facts. That Fury, to my knowledge, is being investigated. Oh, is he? Again? They pick back up the investigation from UK? If so, he'll cancel them out and run back over here to the States. Or try to get fights in Dubai. That's what he'll do. But I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm going to be watching really closely to see what move that Wilder makes because I feel like he'll waste his time with WBC. It's too much gamemanship over there. And then WBC, we always lovingly call it the Mexican belt. But anybody would have do to so-called humble Deontay Wilder. They didn't have a Mexican on the squad nowhere that could have defeated Deontay Wilder. So the next best thing, I guess, a white guy. And that's going to be Deontay's controversial sweet spot, so to speak. I guarantee you, whenever he have a fight with a white guy, The money, the money of it all. If he fights a black guy, they'll make money too. Deontay makes money regardless. Like I said, he guaranteed money. You can take it to the bank. But if he fights a white guy, the money of it all, it'll be some people looking at it that ain't even real boxing fans. They don't even be pressed about boxing. But they gonna watch that shit. Because, hey, he cannot be the top dog. That's not sitting well with certain groups of people. Not a racist thing, it's just how they feel. They don't want the narrative to be what it is. I mentioned the other day, I did a study of how many champions it was in the 20th century. And out of the 100 years, 77 years, it was all held by black fighters who dominated versus everybody else. The other 27, 20, 23 or whatever fights. 23 years. So this is what I see coming down the pipe. I don't know what this is going to mean for Deontay's career, but this is what I see coming down the pipe. That he's going to have controversial fights with white guys. Nothing racist in me saying what I'm saying, but I think they believe that that's going to bring the money. I believe that's his sweet spot right there. Just like with Floyd and Mexican fighters. Whenever Floyd was fighting black fighters, the numbers weren't as good as when he fought Mexican fighters. And that had more to do with their agenda towards him than his. It fell into his lap like that. He just played the cards he was dealt. That's how I see Floyd's situation. And Deontay might have to do just that too. Play the cards you're dealt. They was saying, no, you're absolutely right. And he said, fuck them, it is what it is. That's what Sir Creat said. That's just how I see it. Now, that's me speculating. But I'm speculating on what I see. Speculating means good guess. I'm speculating on what I see. As I said, that man's statements won't even 24 hours long. Had been out in the atmosphere 24 hours before Otto Wallin was like, yo, I'll be your Huckleberry. He was on it. Let me get first dibs at that. Let me get some of that. You know what I'm saying? Jaguars, I remember they wanted to put him up against Jared Anderson. It was for a lot of money. My opinion was they want to finish him off. That's how it worked normally. But Jared wasn't ready. Jared lucky that didn't happen because he wasn't ready. I think Wilder would demolish him. Sir Creat said, laugh out loud. I think he would demolish him. I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what he's saying. Why wouldn't he? The man been incognito for like 6 or 7 months. As soon as he say something, they jumping on it. Hey, actually, I'm gonna come back and still fight. I'm gonna continue with my career. Hey, I'll jump in there with you. Me. But Wallin recognized too that Wilder doesn't have a belt. So think about that. Wilder took a L last October. Somehow or another, with taking the L, he's ranked number 1 in the WBC. Because if Fury would turn down that if that fight didn't take place with what's his name? Dillian. If Fury had turned down that fight, they was gonna strip him. They've been wanting to strip Fury. I told y'all they do not like him as the poster boy for their sanctioning body belts. They really don't. But he was a means to an end. Nobody could get the job done. He could do it. He was a means to an end. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell it was an all hands deck, all hands effort. You know what I'm saying? Tombstone. Sheesh. It was an all hands effort. He had the ref in. Probably would have had the judges, but the ref was working overtime, won't he? Like I said, I don't want y'all to think that I don't accept the decision, but shit. I see it for what it was. Talking about the Wilder fights with the Tyson Fury. I do accept it. It's hard, but I ain't gonna never forget, you know. But Wilder about to be 37 years old. If he still think he got it in him, by all means. I'm sure he sat back and reflected and reflected. It was like, nah, I still got one more in me. What's amazing to me is the patience of the WBA, IBF, and the WBO when it comes to Usyk. That's amazing to me. Why is it amazing? Because you pretty much waiting on this war. Pretty much waiting on it. And the fact that you're waiting this long, I can think of a lot of fighters that I wouldn't see you doing that for. But, I ain't mad at Usyk neither. I mean, in a perfect world, you will hope that they'll give you a solid and wait for you, especially when things beyond your control happens. And this is one of them, this war. But at the same time, the world can't stop. Boxing ain't gonna stop. Circuit says, shit, he still hit hard. Yeah. I want y'all to read this and mark time. You know how I always say mark time? I say mark time. And I say it for a reason because I want you to remember where you were when you saw this and which to remember it because it might be relevant in months to come. So we see WBA President Gilberto Jesus Mendoza met with Daryl Peoples at the IBF convention. And this was written today, I believe. But IBF is a more stringent sanctioning body belt. They don't do too many nonsensical things. Can't say much about the other belts. We know that the WBC is the Mexican belt, and we say that they located not just because they located in Mexico City, but Mauricio like to give Mexicans favor when it comes to his belt. WBA, I call it the Venezuelan belt. It's headquartered out of Venezuela, and they like to show favor to other Venezuelans. May I return you back to Mikhail fight Fox versus Maestra last August, that debacle that went down, but he straight cheated. They straight cheated. But the WBA belt is the Venezuelan belt or the Latino belt or highest bidder. That's how I like to classify them. And then you have the WBO belt. WBO belt, that's out of Puerto Rico, headquartered out there. I like to call that one the Bob Arum belt. The only belt out of the four that I feel like stand on their 10 toes is the IBF. It's the only one. So, World Boxing Association President Gilberto Jesus Mendoza attended the invitation to attended the invitation to the International Boxing Federal Convention being held in Long Beach, California. Mendoza has been at the organization's event and has had an opportunity to participate in various activities, in addition to holding a meeting with the president of the IBF, Daryl Peoples. And the IBF belt is held, by the way, in New Jersey. That's the only one that's in the States. Daryl Peoples, he's a native of Australia, black guy, to discuss different issues concerning the current world of boxing and continue working on different aspects for the discipline. The president of the Pioneer organization has insisted that boxing needs unity and a joint action plan to continue growing and moving in the right direction. For this reason, he continues to strengthen ties with leaders and seek agreements that benefit the discipline. How much y'all want to bet that they was in there talking about them belts that Usyk got? How much y'all want to bet? They had to be. There had to be a topic. There had to be a topic. You know what I'm saying? So the WBA and the IBF is hooking up, having private meetings, huh? What they gonna do? I'm gonna tell you two people who was probably topics: Earl Spence Jr. and motherfucking Usyk. Can't really say Devin Haney and Cambosa because they signed a contract. Their fight coming up is a done deal. We don't know what the hell going on with Earl Spence. Where's the contract, Earl? Remember that commercial? Where's the beef? Where's the contract? Earl Spence has the WBA and the IBF. You know, so we don't know what's going on over there. Absent Chief, Fool, what's up?
What's going on, Lady T? What's going on?
Not much. What you got
Can you
on?
You can hear
Yeah, I
me?
got you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Nah, I'm just here waiting for my son to get out of class with his martial arts. And I stumbled upon you. I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what's going on. Let's see what you're talking about. I see you talking about Wilder and
Of
it's
course.
coming back. Wilder coming back. Well,
Yeah.
everybody has a reason to come back, and he's a man. He can do what he got to do to come back. Let's just hope so. Let's just hope that hand is still the same hand. That's what I've been thinking about. If he's coming back, that hand is because I think he broke it with the Fury fight, the
Yeah,
last
he
Fury fight,
did.
and he
October,
broke it
yep.
a couple of times, right?
I believe he had hand trouble. I just know about this one that he broke his hand with this last fight in October.
Yeah, before I think he had some rods in his hand, some rods in his hand before the fight too. Um, yeah, he broke that hand a couple of times, I think. Um, I just hope everything works out with him and he comes back successful. Like I said, I like knockout artists, so I like watching him fight. I mean, I think he got 10 consecutive wins, like
Yeah,
Muhammad Ali. Is that
defenses.
yeah,
Yeah,
defenses?
defenses. Yeah, of his
Yeah,
title.
man. Yeah, he needs to be back into the sport. You know what I'm saying? He did it at a late time. He got back. He's real talented. He's not fundamental, you know, but he know what he's doing and he gets the job done. You know, because
Most
a lot
definitely.
of people talk.
Let me get these chats because I had a question to ask you. I be checking you out, bro. Circri had said Wilder just need to let the fight come to him. Yeah, they come. They gonna come to him, and they said he cheated him badly. Yeah, I think so. He beat his ass and knocked him down, knocked him out too. Salute King. And then said what's he in Taekwondo?
Oh,
He said he fights.
jujitsu. Oh,
Ooh, which one? Oh,
who's
you
in
talking about
taekwondo?
your son? Oh, your son. I was gonna
Oh,
say
jujitsu.
who was Taekwondo.
Yeah, Brazilian
Jiu-Jitsu.
jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
So Caps, what's
Uh-huh.
good with the VADA testing? I've been watching. I've been looking. I've been looking. I've been looking.
That's why I stopped making videos on everything. I mean, the last video I made was showing you an example about Best Fight the Best and other channels talking to him and personality clashes and shit like that. But before that was the 8 week VADA, and I said, you know what? Let me just wait and see what's going on with this contract because with contracts come drug testing, and everybody think it's just money and the venue and where you're going to have the place, but that also comes into play. And I know Crawford is with Snack, and I know that Spence is with the clean boxing program, using VADA to administrate, not take the test, but just administrate So I'm just waiting to see how this is going to work out. And then we got this situation with Manny Pacquiao coming back, and I'm like, Lord, I'm a Pactor. Please don't come back right now and interfere. And I'm hearing that he want to fight Crawford. I'm like, please, I don't want this to escalate and build overflow where people start to say that, Crawford's going to take the Manny Pacquiao fight. I hope Crawford just comes out and say, listen, I'm focusing on Spence and I'm waiting for the contract to be signed and sent to me. That's it. I don't want to hear nothing about no Manny Pacquiao right now. Even though I love the man, he has the right to come back just like Wilder and everybody else, but not on Spence and Crawford time. No, no, we don't need that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Now, listen, is it official? Can we now say that Earl didn't do no VADA test for the Ugas fight?
Well, you more up on that than me because I try to go to the clean boxing program. I've been listening to you a couple times. I heard you was talking to Big Fish, and I think you brought it up, and Big Fish was kind of quiet on that. He's like, he was kind of upset that you was trying to say that you're trying to start something that shouldn't be there, but it's something that needs to be, you know, put on port because guess what? If this comes up, you know who they're gonna blame? They're gonna blame Crawford if he not getting the test that he wants. They're gonna say, oh, he's trying to duck the fight and what's the difference? People are short mind. They're gonna say, oh, what's the difference between the clean boxing and them using VADA and the official VADA? Everybody's like, oh, Crawford is ducking all this stuff. But like I said in my video, it happened with Mikey and Errol Spence. And this guy, what's this guy? Victor Conte told Mikey, listen, if you're gonna fight Errol, make sure you do 8 weeks before the fight and post. That's it. So I'm just trying to figure out, that's why I'm not making any videos about anything because if that comes out, my video's up already. You see what I'm saying? It's not hoping it's not. I just really want to get the contract. If Crawford decides to do the clean boxing program, fine. That's his choice, and he feels like
He's
he's
gonna have
confident.
to. He's gonna have
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
If he's going for them belts, he has to. By their laws, by their own guidelines, anybody going for the WBC gotta go for that, gotta get in that program.
But check this out. That's not right because in my video, if you saw the video, I showed proof of Nonito Donaire at the time. He was the WBC champion. Check this out.
Mm.
And Casimir was the WBO. And his wife Rachel, Nonito Donaire's wife Rachel was like, listen, you're not under the VADA testing. And Sean Gibbons and what's this guy named Casimir was like, oh no, we are. We're the clean boxer program. And Nonito Donaire was like, no, I want 8. He didn't even want 8 weeks. He wanted 7 weeks. And I show you the email in my video, and they dragged their feet and then that's the reason why the fight didn't happen. Not because of insults. I mean, this is boxing. You can insult anybody. You can finish it in the ring. That's the whole part about boxing. You insulting. I'm on that time with Muhammad Ali. All these dudes out here crying about people insulted and who insulted who. They all sound like chumps, man. This is the part of boxing. You insult each other, your mama, everybody, just to get somebody in the ring. So if you're gonna say, I'm not gonna fight you because of an insult, I really ain't got time for that. I really don't. But there was a problem when he was the WBC. Nonito Donaire was the WBC champion, and he wasn't. Casimir, he was a WBO, and he was talking about, well, I'm using the clean boxing program, and Nonito Donaire was like, no, you're not. I want you to take it this way. So that fight didn't happen. So I'm just trying to show people examples of how
Yeah, I
situations
mean,
happen.
basically what you're saying is Nonito does it all year. And you
Right.
can as a fighter opt to
Uh-huh.
do it all year. It's not like it's expensive compared to some of these fighters that we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Crawford can afford it. Spence could afford it. You're talking $400, maybe a test, a routine part of the test, but all year round, you're talking about a couple of $1,000. That's a drop in the bucket to some of these
Right.
guys. I get it for others that don't make as much money, that might be a problem. But as you pointed out, it seemed to be the way that Mauricio Suleiman in the WBC is basically doing tests after the fact. And as you pointed out, that's time to cycle off. If you do it after the fight, they would have cycled off and they'd have
Mhm.
came out looking clean. But if you do it before the 8-week training starts or during the 8-week training, you're gonna
Hmm.
catch some. But you know what WBC doing? It's a facade, it's smoke and mirrors. It's like, hey, look at us, we the shiny penny. Everybody need
Yep.
to come up to where we at. We
Hmm.
doing this clean boxing program, and y'all should want to get like us. But you're not really doing clean boxing program. You test
Exactly.
who you want to test after the fact. And then also, why do you got to keep entering into the boxing program, the clean boxing program, every time you got a fight coming up? Why do you got to
Right.
keep? And I pointed that out because you enter it the way Mauricio and them running. You enter it because there's a time limit. There's a time limit, and when that end of that time, then you off the hook. You ain't got to get tested. You ain't got to worry about WBC telling them to come over there and give you a test. So because the time limit comes where you're off the hook, now
Mhm.
when you come up to your next fight, you got to re-enter it again. So really,
Right.
is the WBC really doing a clean boxing program? At this point, the way I look at it, hell to the no.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And when it comes to, it's voluntary. VADA is voluntary. So they say it's expensive. But then I show a clip in one of my videos showing that this guy Victor Conte say, well, you sponsoring my product, I will pay for your VADA. So I'm still stuck on that situation where, wait a minute, did you pay for Mikey and Errol for VADA testing the way you wanted because you told Mikey to fight Errol with an 8 week? So I'm just saying, is it that you paid for both fighters on an account that you want to make sure Mikey get a clean? Because if he says you sponsor his product, well, I can expect that he paying for VADA for Crawford. Because he said, if you sponsor my product, I would pay for 365 or the week of, let's say it starts 8 weeks of training, that's when it
Mhm.
starts. Because Olympic style is when it's for the whole year. Yes, 365. But those people, they train for the Olympics. So of course you're gonna have a all year round, because you want to make sure that when they're having a training camp or they training all year just for this one situation, that they're not using PEDs. And the same thing with VADA. VADA say, look, we take a urine test in the morning, we could take a urine test later on that same day. That's the difference between the clean boxing program and VADA. They'll take a urine test not once, but twice. They'll see if it's concentrated, because in the morning it's mostly dirty. But if you drink a lot of water during the day, you'll see your piss clear. So they would do that. Also, what they would do is take random drug testing, and also what they would do is send it to one lab only, and that's the water. That's water. It does not go, it doesn't like how Clean Boxing Program does it. They'll say, we're gonna administrate, we're gonna use water to administrate it. We're gonna take
Mhm.
the samples and we're gonna take it to our lab. And I showed proof of that VADA did show on their Twitter that every lab is different. Every Especially if you're in a contract with VADA. That doesn't mean that you're doing it the right way. VADA does it this way, clean boxing programs do it that way. So I'm just sitting back and I'm going to see, because, I just want to see what's going on with this fight. I hope it happens. That's basically it. I want to see what the interference is.
I feel you. Circria said Crawford won't fight no names. Period. He said tomato cans won't do it. He said allow Mexicans to use illegal enhancer drugs, and I ate Mexican beef and I haven't got an inch stronger. Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel what you're saying. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's the illusion that they're on the up and up. And I really
Right.
think that Spencer Crawford fight should be beyond reproach. There shouldn't be nothing that Bud fans can have a complaint about, and it shouldn't be nothing that Spence fans should have a complaint about. But with this VADA, I think it's necessary. So if
Right.
you know that Bud is with Snack, so that means Victor is paying for Bud. If I was Bud, I'd be like, shit, I'll pay for Spence. And I'm hearing rumors, but I can say that I just be like, unless they come from credible sources, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
the first rumor that you see a lot of folks doing is they're saying that Bud asking for $20 million, which we don't care. whatever they ask for behind closed door, we don't care. But
Right.
let's be real. Look at what type of man you talking about. This man gonna pull $20 million out his ass without a reason. Without
Yeah,
a reason.
I'm hearing rumors that Spence wants 50 million. So
Exactly. 50 million.
it's just rumors. I mean, I'm not hearing it from Spence or Crawford. I don't know why people bringing up these rumors, but it's just to smoke and mirrors, like you said. It's just to interfere with people and come up with narratives. I mean, if it's true, it's true. But if it's not, I'm not hearing it like it's really. It's just a rumor. I mean, everybody when they make a video, they talking about they heard this and they heard that, but I ain't hearing from Crawford. I mean, maybe I missed something because I missed a couple of days on YouTube. So shit goes by fast. You
Look,
know.
Fred from Barbershop Conversation did a little video, but he
Uh,
said he found there was a clip where Spence was talking. I really couldn't hear it that good, but
right.
he played the clip twice, and he said Spence pretty much let the cat out the bag that
Mhm.
Al Heyman and them don't want to fight with Crawford.
Well,
That's
hey, if that
so
hey, if that's what Crawford and Tim Smith and I mean not Crawford,
Al Heyman.
Al Heyman and Tim Smith. Well, hey, that's not on Crawford's fault. But see, the narrative. That's why I don't want this Manny Pacquiao to come up because, and I don't want Terrence Crawford to entertain it. I wish he'll come on Twitter and say, listen, the only fight I want again is Spence. I could do with Manny Pacquiao after. Manny Pacquiao ain't going nowhere. And I don't like that Manny Pacquiao came out talking about he wants Terrence Crawford. What the hell? You know who you need to fight if you come back? Ugas. Fight Ugas.
Yeah,
Every rematch you did, you always prevail. So fight Ugas. That's who you should be concerned because you just can't come out the bag and say I want Terrence Crawford, and then all of a sudden you're trying to bait Terrence Crawford to react or Spence to react or whatever, and then you got a whole narrative and then something else because it's always something else that stops the fight from preventing, and it's behind closed doors, and they use something else that's not behind closed doors for you to talk about. I noticed that it's like some kind of smoke and mirrors, like you said, and the real reason could be Vada, and it could be Manny, and then they'll use Manny Pacquiao, or they use this or use that. So all I'm worried about is that Terrence Crawford. Listen, if Al Hammond and Tim Smith don't want to pay for it, they fooling themselves because they had enough for Canelo. And look, people say, well, Canelo, he brings back money. But look, what did Canelo do in his last fight? In his last couple of fights, it's not that big of a deal. I
he
mean,
did
come on,
$129,000 in his last fight.
his last fight. So
Yeah.
it takes two to tango. I mean, it is what it is. But I just hope that the contract. I'm that's why I called you because I really want to know if you hear anything coming up with this. What's taking so long for a contract? I mean, we know it ain't
Well,
going to happen in
well,
Texas. Uh-huh.
and people need to squash that narrative. Like Bud is the only one pushing for neutral grounds. Way back when they met at that Maurice Hooker fight,
Let's go
um,
tomorrow. Are we on
he
live?
said he wanted they both said they wanted neutral grounds. I see you got your kid.
Yeah. He's up in here.
Hey, how you doing, little man? Ain't a
Listen,
little man, that's a big man.
yeah, he's 16. He's up in there. I'm gonna call
Okay.
you back as soon as I get some parking, and we're gonna
Yeah.
chat it up. All right,
Okay.
all right,
Appreciate you. All right.
no problem.
Surgery said Surgery at 357 said facts, Jesus 100% will be back next month too. Um Pac better sit his ass down. Nothing he did, nothing. Yeah, I like to talk to Captain G because he be getting in the weeds of this Vada thing. That thing is gonna be important. We are hearing a lot of rumors. Again, I don't have no confirmation when it come to Bud, if Bomac or Terrence or even Bernie the Boxer don't say it, it can't be real to me. I have to take it with a grain of salt. Same thing I apply for Spence. I don't hear from his mouth or Derek James or Team Spence. I have to say, it ain't really real. And that's why I would lead with it's rumors. It's rumors. But I like how the narrative was out like Bud is asked for $20 million. They folks were saying that like it's the actual factual. Well, if you think about it, they're painting the picture like only Bud is asking for 20 million. Like everybody else, is being reasonable, but Bud is being unreasonable and asking for way too much money, pretty much alluding to the fact he don't want to fight. And it probably ain't the money that's hanging them up. It could be something as simple as VADA testing. I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now. I have waited patiently. I have looked. Spence didn't take no VADA testing for Ugas. Why? And he has the WBC belt. Now, if I'm wrong and somebody show me different, don't show me a letter saying he in the clean boxing program. That's not going to cut it because that's a personal letter to him. Plus, the letter that they put out came from a lawyer, not the clean like VADA's administrative office. It wasn't on letterhead, proper letterhead and all this stuff. So that don't mean nothing. You said shit, he big. I thought he was a little boy, but he's 16-year-old. That what he just said. Sir Chris said he cool. And he said, love your voice, sis. Thank you. And you got it. And Bud needs to seal the deal. But see, it's not Bud all the time. I mean, over these last years, we didn't have a lot of people advocating for Bud, and we realize now there's a lot of people out here advocating for Bud, me included. And we realize now that it wasn't all Bud. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It isn't Bud. I can honestly say with a straight face that I feel like Bud always wanted to fight. He was genuine what he asked for. He was genuine in his approach. He played by the rules. And he was just getting the stiff arm. He was getting the stiff arm every which way but loose. Circuit said we knew he would beat Ugas. Talk about Spence. But Ugas did the body testing. Spence didn't. Why is that? Why is that? Now, when you go, I'm gonna admit this. In the last couple of days, when you go try to find the list, it's difficult to find, but you can find it. When you try to find the list, you can't hardly find it. What's the cloak and dagger for? What's the dealio? Secretary said you think it's his trainer? Which one are you talking about? His trainer? And promotion? Well, Secretary, Tim Smith came out earlier this year in January. Basically, in so many words, basically saying not the past, not the present, or the future do we want to get a fight with Bud because we can't afford his prices. And he's saying all this stuff and then later admitted in the same interview that they've never sat down and talked to Bud, so you don't even know what he asked for. That's like me saying, I can't make the deal with you, whatever deal me and you can have. I can't afford you. But I never sat down with you and talked to you to hear what you're asking for. But I already know I can't afford you. Now, if you're going by what Crawford already made, who was the highest paid welterweight in the division, between $3 and $4 million a fight. Earl Spence wasn't making that. He was making between 1.2 and 1.5 million dollars, maybe 2 million at best. So when you have somebody who's in charge at the PBC, who controls the money and everything, who do you go by? No, Crawford trainer. You talking about Crawford trainer? But unless Crawford trainer says something that I can't call it, you know what I'm saying? I can't unless they actually say things. I know the narrative was pushed out that Crawford was asking for $20 million, and that's not true. That's not true unless they say it's true. That's how I'm gonna have to look at it. And I entertained it. I say, even if that's true, what would make Crawford just come out the blue, who've been always making 4 million tops a fight, say, you know what? I got one belt, and I'm about to fight the 3-belt champion, and I want $20 million. See, that's the narrative. That's the painting. That's the picture that they painting. But they leave out the part that what would make him ask for that. But then when you hear the rumors that Spence asked for 50 million, that makes sense, right? Okay, you gonna pay Spence 50, you can at least give me 20. Don't that sound a lot better than one person just coming out asking for $20 million when they've never even made 10 million? And the other person is trying to act, they paint the picture by not saying anything, because omission is lies too. So by not saying nothing, so we supposed to believe that Spence is good with whatever he normally was getting paid. We talking guarantee money. We ain't talking about pay-per-view, because that's speculation money. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'll go with you, Bree. No. Okay. Gotta go. Sorry, y'all. So do you think we get the fight? I don't know. L Dub, this is a person to ask. L Dub, what's good with this Spence and Bud fight? What's good with you, King? Welcome to the building. He said, sounds like BS. Could all be BS. That's why I say, unless we hear it from the horse's mouth, can't say it's exactly true. But L Dub would be the person to ask. Has the contract been sent, L Dub? That's what a lot of people want to know. Here we are at the end of May, about to go into June next week. We don't know if a contract has been sent or not. And it's been since April 16th. What's taking so long? What's the intel on that? That's what we're worried about. Now I told y'all to mark time. The WBA and the IBF is meeting up because they want to be in unison or unified in how they going forward. They're not telling y'all, but I don't care what nobody's saying. This is my speculation. You think that Spence and Crawford wasn't a topic, or Usyk and AJ isn't a topic? When these belts are sitting up here being held up, they not making money. And believe it or not, I don't care what they say, talking about sanctioning bodies, they all about making money. And they all about not paying Uncle Sam. But they are essentially taxmen to the fighters. Circuit has said WBC on some BS. Yeah, and Spence need to get at them, but not putting them on the list, because everybody would say no. Spence is in the program. No, he was in the program leading up to the Pacquiao fight. There's no proof he was in the program leading up to the Ugas fight. None. Because if you go to VADA website themselves, they're going to show you when he was into the program. But I told y'all, I showed y'all on here before, it's a time frame. Once you announce the fight, there's a time frame that VADA test is on your back. It could be before the fight, but Mauricio is only really, he's cheap. He only really paying after the fight. And if you look at my boy Caps and G4, he gonna break it down to what that means to do a test after you fight. How you could have done the most and still came out smelling like roses at the end of the fight or after the fight, because you cycle off. And by the time it's after the fight, you pretty much at the ratio you normally should be in. It don't mean that during the fight you didn't get the benefits of it. So I am waiting. I look and I look and I look. I'm telling you guys, I put a lot of time in trying to find when did he take his VADA for Uga's fight. I told y'all and I showed y'all that Ugas definitely participated in VADA because he made the list that they put out all the time. Earl did not. Turkey at 357 said, well, he made him wait. But I can't say when they came to his home. That has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. When you're on that clean boxing program, you're supposed to take the test. You know, that's why they will go wherever you are. That's why you have to leave a forwarding address or wherever you're going with them at all times. I showed y'all the rules up in here too. There is no excuse that can be made. If he turned down the fight, then that's what he did. He turned down the fight. And when you do that, WBC, according to their rules, will kick you out of their rankings. They will strip you from your belts. I mean, this is their rules. You can't be a part of the WBC in any way, shape, or form without complying with VADA. And and I even told y'all that don't even sound right because it's supposed to be a voluntary thing, but it don't sound voluntary. So I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just stating facts. Your boy Spence did not make the list. I waited. I said maybe he'll get on the next one to come out in April. No. We at the end of May. No. So what are you going to do? They want to show us stuff that was sent out before the Pacquiao fight all last year. That has nothing to do with the Ugas fight. Smoke and mirrors, y'all. Sir Krieg said they screwed Benavidez how? Oh, when they took his belt? Didn't they take it for drugs, or was that the first time they took his belt? Or if they took it because he didn't make weight, that's just customary right there. But if they took it for the drugs, is that what you mean? So they know that he will run 168, but Benavidez got to be responsible too. He let that belt go, and of course Canelo did what anybody else would do: swoop down and get it. Say yes. The cocaine was calling me. It was calling me. Then wait. Okay, the weight was the second one. See, that was his fault. That was Benavidez's fault. I can't blame Canelo. Can't blame nobody else but Benavidez. He shouldn't have lost that belt. Canelo would have never probably fought him had he still had the belt, and Canelo wouldn't be undisputed 168-pounder today. And that's another thing. He's holding belts too. So do y'all think, let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think that the WBA and the IBF going to come out in a united front and confront some of these folks that's holding these belts? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all think that that's going to happen? I wonder. Like, I look, there's got to be a reason why they came together, because this was an IBF convention. Each one of them have their own convention. Why was they invited? Like, what's the real dealio? He said facts. You don't think so? I guarantee. I ain't gonna guarantee. I'm gonna take it back. I predict, and y'all hear me say this, that in the coming months, some belts gonna be taken away or some fights gonna be ordered. I'm talking IBF and WBA. Some belts gonna be taken away or some fights are going to be ordered. I predict that, and that's coming soon. And it might be your favorite fighter, my favorite fighter. Watch what I tell you. You said they want to get Jamel removed. Probably so. He's not a good ambassador. Sometimes you got to be a good ambassador to the product you represent. And they can count on him not being a good ambassador, even though he hasn't done nothing wrong yet. But I stress the word yet. But y'all make sure y'all hit that like button too. I don't know what they gonna do with Jamel, but I put out too that Jamel got to think about things. Sometimes you got to think about what you say, because if Jamel moves up to 160 and he has to drop all those belts, right? He may do that. He just might do it. And at Boxing Fans Talk TV, are we gonna be upset? No, I can't be upset with folks who do the same thing as other folks. I mean, if I'm upset with Jermaine, I gotta be upset with Crawford. I gotta be upset with other folks. And if Earl had won the bout between Crawford and him, and he became undisputed and then dropped his belts, I wouldn't be upset with him either for that. But I'm telling you, the interesting part that I'm gonna be looking at is I'm gonna see how long he gonna big up or tout his record. How long will his record be significant? Because at 160, Jamel, sorry, baby, bro, you ain't shit. You ain't none at 160. Ain't that what they said to Crawford? Ain't that how they talk to Crawford? Right now, you the man. You drop them belts, you go back to not being the man. Because what you did in your past don't matter, right? And some people say, no, that's different. Because he fought some killers and some real niggas. Nah, that's all opinion based. You got to hit facts with this. It's your opinion that he fought some killers and for real niggas. And he did. Jamel has an excellent record. Like, he's between the two, I put him up as the best. And I don't like to, instigate twin rivalry or anything, but he is. He's in, by virtue of the fact of the division he in. All of them are great or excellent top tier fighters. They the goods. So he had to walk through a storm to get where he at. Canelo is only ducking. Jamel will smash. They talking about Jamal like Spence. He said he can go for any belt, even his brother's belt. Yeah, I don't want to see no fight between brothers. He said facts. 160 monsters up there too. Yeah, and it's monsters everywhere, but I just think 154 is more deep. I just think they're more deep. But if he goes up, he got a big decision to make. Is he going to defend the titles? Because you know who's knocking at his door? Tim Zoo. Do I think Jamel going to smash him? Hell to the yeah. But he is knocking at the door, nonetheless. Tim Zoo won't in. According to his people, his promoter. Like, yo, Jamel, don't throw the belts away yet. Give us a crack at it. And then somebody was like, well, a lot of us say, oh, Jamel gonna smash him. And Tim Zoo people was like, I want him to think that way. Crazy. My dog is acting. Oh, that's you? Okay. That's my bad. And he said, sis what? Zoo done deal. Jamel gonna kill him. Yeah, Jamel know he can beat him. I think he can with his eyes closed. For real. But that's what they said. They want him to think that. But people won't at it. He has to make a decision, because if you stick around, make a fight with Tim Zoo, that's gonna be some months down the line. We still waiting on Spence and Crawford. And again, where's the beef? Where's the contract? There's no contract that was sent out. That would be on Spence's part. And he didn't do the VADA testing for Ugas. That matters to me. You ain't do it for Ugas, you ain't gonna do it for Crawford. And nah, That's why the narrative came out about Snack. If y'all ain't mad with Devin Haney taking snack, then don't be mad at Crawford taking snack. If snack wasn't an issue before when everybody else was taking it, don't that is keep that same energy. Crawford been on it for a minute, so keep that same energy. Dude don't have no defense. Yeah, Tim Smith, he's not a complete fighter. He said that dude can't fight. Yeah, he's not a complete fighter. But mark my words, the WBA and the IBF they about to corner somebody. Who is it? Is it contestant number 1, Jamel Charlo? Ta-da! Is it contestant number 2, Errol Spence Jr.? Ta-da! Well, we know it can't be contestant number 3, George Camboso, because that fight is in the books. It's made. It's made. So I'm gonna move on. In an article written by Hack Allen, Tank is hinting that he may stay with Mayweather Promotions after all, and it's the compliments of it all for me. Calling them the best team, talking about potential and future endeavors they may have with him. We all understood it that Tank was gonna move on. This was his last ride with Mayweather Promotions, but it don't look like it might be. We don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll get more clarity on the night of the fight. By the way, I'm gonna be looking at the fight. Y'all come over and watch with me. I'm not gonna be showing the fight, but it's gonna be a couple of us, me and ATL. We're gonna be calling it. Y'all welcome to join. Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. The original date for their fight was gonna be in July. It's now set for September, early part of September. It's a 4-belt middleweight champion unification bout. The reason why it probably was pushed back because Marshall had arm surgery. And I just, I'm gonna mention his name, Ben Shalom. He's also was involved with the Kell Brook and the Amir Khan fight. This man is popping up everywhere, so it seems like he's he's becoming like a reputable promoter of some sorts. He's getting fights for folks. Also, be on the lookout of the Joseph Parker and Dillian White rematch. I can say who cares. I don't know who care. I don't know where Dillian goes from here since that loss, because he really ain't got a leg to stand on. And what could he say? I mean, I didn't even buy that fight. I don't know who bought that fight. I didn't. But it ain't much. It ain't much news. Trust me, I looked all around. Same old same. The fight that's coming up this weekend, we here for it. Tank Davis and Rolly Romero. Y'all haven't seen the Showtime press conference, y'all can Google Showtime and go watch that press conference. It was very interesting. I think Rolly was a little bit more comfortable today, being himself more, because you could tell he was a little nervous with previous press conferences, but he was a little bit more animated today, talking shit, swallowing spit. Tank can't stand him. Tank trying to keep the facade on that it ain't personal and all that stuff. Maybe because he know if people see either one of them getting real emotional about it, he who gets emotional loses. That's what a lot of people gonna think. So I don't know that fight, that press conference. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And they gonna do the weigh-ins tomorrow, so be sure to check that out. This gonna be an interesting weekend. Y'all better get y'all whatever y'all devices ready to do whatever. I'm gonna be watching the fight, like I said, with ATL, probably Tay and some other folks. Y'all welcome to join in. And as y'all watching, I'm watching, but I'm not showing any fights. Like the camera will not be on my TV, but I'm able to look at it and sit here and be online with you guys. So be sure to come on in and watch it with me. All right, but that's all I have for tonight. Unless anybody has anything else. Anything? Hit you with the thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment on the replay. Let me know how you feel. Miss T always gonna be Miss T though. But I am open minded and I do listen what like I'm open minded pretty much. Whatever you got to say, if it makes sense, you might could sway me. You know. But anywho, just don't forget to hit the like button and share button and subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't. If you already have, don't hit it again. You locked in. Anyway, remember when you know better, you do better. Peace.